All. Today I am going to talk about the Ombudsman. Before starting further, we have to know about the origin of the Ombudsman, establishment, structure, concept. So let's start about Ombudsman. Now, Ombudsman in first 1809, it was the origin in Sweden Constitution, which was established the word Ombudsman. In India, instead of using word ombudsman, we are calling Lokpal and Lokayukta. Whereas in England, New Zealand, Denmark, they are called parliamentary commissioner. The Soviet Union, they called prosecutor. See that the different countries has different names. Words of course are different, but their works are the same. So the establishment of ombudsman, which is first adopted in 1809 in Sweden. First common law country was New Zealand in 1963. England was established the system in the 1966. Australia has established the system in the 1976. And the ombudsman can investigate complaints about the actions and the decision of Australian government, departments and agencies. The services delivered by most private contractor for the Australian government and the overseas complaint with investigation conducted by the Australian Federal Policy. Whereas in Bangladesh has the law but not entry into force by gadget notification. See, basically for the establishment is concerned, the country and the year is more important. Sometimes the question may ask objective or subjective, whatever it may be. Where there is objective, the year is more important. Where there is subjective, of course, you should be right in that your answer. Then we go further for the antiquity. The office of the Parliamentary Commission, Parliamentary Ombudsman, was established with the instrument of government in 1809. In that antiquity, the office of the Parliamentary Ombudsman was established with the instrument of government in 1809. The office was modeled after Chancellor of Justice and according to the principle of separation of power. Now, Swedish democracy is founded on a universal and equal right to vote and the free formation of opinion. The instrument of government is not based on the idea of a separation of powers into legislative, executive, and judiciary branches. Instead, it is monastic with a single power center, the citizen of the country. The Chancellor of Justice was installed in 1714 as a proxy for King Chancellor 12 of Sweden to act as a representative for the royal government. Today, it acts as an ombudsman, mainly to oversee that Swedish authorities comply with laws on behalf of the government, but also to handle indemnity claims from persons suffer from imprisonment but later acquitted or the other damages which caused by the authority. So for ombudsman in Swedish, so ombudsperson or ombuds or public advocate is an official who is charged with representing the interest of the public by investigating and addressing complaints of maladministration or a violation of rights. The ombudsman is usually appointed by the government or by the parliament but with a significant degree of the independence. In some other countries, the inspector general, citizen advocate, or other official may have duties similar to those of the national ombudsman and may also be appointed by the legislature. But below the national level, an ombudsman may be appointed by a state, by local, or by the municipal government. Unofficial ombudsman may be appointed by or even work for in corporations such as utility, supply, newspaper, NGOs, or professional regulatory body. But that depend upon the nature of the work, which is important in that. The parliamentary ombudsman was in turn appointed to represent the parliament to oversee that all public authority which complied with the laws and the degree, but the latter which had the specific duty to protect the citizens and as a public attorney prosecute unlawful governments or action by authorities and criticize problematic law or something in the error or something like that, to ensure equality in the court of law with inspections and handling of complaints. And with this growing of the attention to discrimination issues in these later part of the 20th centuries, a number of the new anti-discriminatory ombudsman was appointed, and to this which gather under all with the establishment of the equality ombudsman in 2009. This is all related to Sweden. The Ombudsman for Children was established in 1993 and it starts with the matter affecting the rights and the interests of children and young people. So, see, as per the depend upon the like here in Swedish, like Ombudsman for Children regarding for this children only. Like in the Equality Ombudsman in 2009. So there are different things, but it is not applicable to all the countries. It's a different. It's totally different. The typical duties of an ombudsman was to investigate complaints and attempt to resolve them, which usually through recommendation. Sometimes it's binding, sometimes it may not, or mediation. Ombudsman sometimes also aims to identify systematic issue leading to poor service or breaches of people rights. At the national level, most ombudsman has a wide mandate to deal with the entire public sector, and sometimes also element of the private sector too. With that depend upon the nature of the work also, because it's sometime contract or sometime it is for the permanent basis. So it will be depend. In some cases, there is a more restricted mandates. For example, with particular sector of society. Most recent developments have included the creation of specialized children ombudsman, as I told earlier slides on the first one slide before that, and information commissioner agencies too. In some jurisdictions, an ombudsman charged with the handling concern about national government is more formally referred as to the parliamentary commissioner, because as the United Kingdom parliamentary commissioner for administration, whereas the Western Australian state ombudsman. In many countries where the ombudsman responsibility includes protecting human rights, the ombudsman is recognized as the national human rights institution. The post of ombudsman had, by the end of the 20th century, been instituted by most government and by some intergovernmental organizations such as the European Union. So the basically what is meant by ombudsman? Ombudsman is a Swedish word which means citizen defender. It is essentially a Scandinavian institution through which administrative actions are overseen by an independent authority to contain abuse of discretion, maladministration, etc. In a very simple language, an ombudsman is a person who acts a trust intermediary between an organizations and some internal or external contingencies, and represent not only but mostly the broad scope of constitute interest. Now, which important thing related to ombudsman? So what is ombudsman? Ombudsman is the officer of parliament. Ombudsman is acting as an agent for parliament. Ombudsman is a safeguard of the citizen. He looks into the complaint for the citizen, works as a civil court, and may accountable to the government. So what is the need for ombudsman? See, it becomes very clear that in modern times, like two contingency or two tendency which have become manifest in all the democratic countries. So large powers has been and are being conferred on the administration. As per Professor A.V. Rice also mentioned that there is a huge discriminatory power has been one person, there is of course a arbitrariness. So with the result that a huge discriminatory machinery having vast discretionary power has come into existence. The administrative has come to play a very important role in influencing and shaping the socio-economic order in today's society. A feelings has arisen in the public mind that vesting of such vast power in the administration has generated possibility and opportunities of abuse or misuse of power by administrative functionaries, resulting in maladministration and corruption. And with this, the administration very often exhibit a tendency to disregard individual rights and interests in the name of public good. Whereas we also observe that it is not conclude that if there is more administration, there will be more maladministration. And he explained, I mention here that he explained, the greater the power given to the executive, the greater the need to safeguard the citizen against its arbitrary and unfair exercise. And therefore, because of that problems of the day is to evolve and educate an effective mechanism to contain this dangerous which controlling the administrative product. Because of that reason we require for the here because of that the redressal of individual grievance against the administration, it's important for the ombudsman. Then what are the powers of ombudsman? The powers of the ombudsman is very simple. It's investigating power, restriction of publication of proceedings, power to punish any person for obstruction, delegation powers, and power to entry immunities, etc. So now guys, this is for I have this today. I stop here. I This is for our today, and it will be continue for the part 2, that which is more important country. As I told, I dropped here one question. If possible, please comment on this description box that tell me which important country is more focused on the ombudsman, other foreign countries also including India too. So can you give me the answer in one sentence that which is the more important country regarding for the ombudsman? So thank you so much for watching. We will meet in very soon part 2 ombudsman. Thank you so much. Bye.